According to the Urban Dictionary, meta has two main connotations in pop culture. Number one, meta means about the thing itself. It's seeing the thing from a higher perspective instead of from within the thing, like being self-aware. Number two, it's a term used in MMOs, meaning the most effective tactic available. It's basically what works in a game regardless of what you wish would work. With the announcement of peculiar mods in the latest dev stream, labeled as some sort of non-meta approach to the game, there has been all kinds of reactions towards them, which has prompted me to make this video, discussing the connotations of the meta in Warframe, its importance and place within the game as a whole. Stick around, I'm Deuce, and thanks in advance for watching. Let me start by saying that you don't need the meta in Warframe, not for its current content structure, which can be divided into three main components. Number one is the Starshot missions and the progression systems embedded in it. Number two are the sorties, syndicates, and other self-contained side activities. And in number three we have the quests. Warframe's entire content can be fitted in one or several of these categories, and the game's meta is not needed in order to successfully involve yourself in every single one of these. The only place where the meta is a must, it's in a player-created challenge aptly named Endurance Run. Hence why many in the community believe the game has no real endgame, and also the reason why you hear all the time, Fashion Frame is the true endgame and things of the sort. In this context, the meta exists as a form of completionism. Players that have done everything, leveled every weapon, every warframe, completed every quest, unlocked every node, take it upon themselves to become as efficient as possible, either before farming or dealing damage, challenge themselves to see which can last the longest in endless mission types, and so on. But in the end, the existence of the meta frame and the absence of content specifically designed to use it goes to show that even though there is interest in having content that needs of this approach in order to succeed, the developers haven't struck with the golden goose yet, at least not in this regard. Don't get me wrong, the fact that you don't need the meta doesn't make it useless. For example, eidolon hunting metas can increase your dividends considerably, which can also be said about farming and other activities. It's not that the game has no room for metas, it's just that there is no content tailor-made for its use, and this is viewed as a problem for many. In gaming, the term endgame is used to describe the playing experiences by people who have reached the maximum progression and/or the most advanced content currently available. So the things involved in achieving different metas in Warframe could also equate to endgame activities: focus farming, putting formas on weapons and frames, modding, and so on. But it's only natural to then wish for a space within the game in which these things are a must, spaces where these things aren't just a plus. Amidst all of this, the recently announced Sanctuary Onslaught comes in, a new space, apparently designed as a form of challenge where meta strategies are a must in order to get as far as possible, and a place where you can also farm an endgame resource. I'm referring to focus. So far, the only place within the game where this is possible by design. So it's no coincidence that many in the community are viewing this as a new attempt at cracking the endgame puzzle that appears elusive to Warframe, but already giving up hope because of the most important thing in endgame: rewards. It appears that the main attraction of the Sanctuary Onslaught mode will be the peculiar mods, a set of modifiers that have no purpose other than just fooling around, with effects that will not contribute in any way to any meta strategy. Their purpose is only trolling. In on themselves, peculiar mods aren't bad. I personally like the idea, a not so serious approach to a game that has little in this regard. A refreshing take that provides choice. It's optative, not mandatory, so as long as players who don't want to be involved in this get to stay out, it's fine in my eyes. My problem comes in their place within the farming structure of the game. Peculiars, you see, can only be obtained in the new game mode, which again is viewed by many as a possible endgame, a place for the meta, not for fooling around. So obviously this has bothered some, and with reason. If you want to add endgame, then the rewards should be endgame worthy. Now, I don't know what could possibly qualify as that in Warframe, but what I do know is that peculiar mods can't be viewed as endgame components simply because they aren't meta. So they feel as a disjointed reward that isn't worth the effort. Another example of a disjointed reward are the diary entries for the Seagull Savant and VK7 story. You can only get these by grinding the Ghoul Purge event in Eidolon. Putting lore behind the grind wall is something I absolutely despise, not to mention that it feels wrong in the context of the lore itself, since these were logs entrusted to Kanzu, so the reason why the ghouls dropped them is a mystery, one that breaks the story's sense. The same goes for peculiar mods, a system not for meta strategies in a place where meta is encouraged. This makes no sense. This also segues to the video's premise. Meta isn't everything, but a place designed for its use should reward something that is worthy of it, of the effort it takes to achieve it. Giving you something that is everything but that feels like a slap in the face. Some next level trolling for which I would applaud DE if there were other places where the meta was actually worth something. In my eyes, a true endgame system, which sadly I don't believe the Sanctuary Onslaught will be. But I always say we need to properly assess something in order to judge it, so all of these are only my preliminary thoughts. As it stands right now, there is no place for the meta within the game's structure, other than to repeat the same, only 10 times more efficiently. Apparently, the endgame content puzzle will remain unsolved, and the cycle will continue, with many left wanting for a worthy challenge with worthy rewards that doesn't take 8 hours in an endless mission to properly enjoy it. For my part, this has been all for today. If you enjoyed the video or you found it interesting, please consider giving it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more Warframe content and follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with everything. Again, thank you very much for watching. Wherever you are, have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.